This video is about a thing that happened in baseball only once. Ever. Yeah. Baseball is a team sport in the most extreme sense of the phrase. It is a combined effort of at least 9 players, usually more like 13 players or more, on one team to win a game. No matter how good you are, whether you're Fishman or Balanced Breakfast Person or Ted Williams, just because you're that good doesn't mean that your team will have success. However, there are exceptions and outliers which prove that if in the right place, at the right time, a player can lift the rest of his team on his shoulders for that game. So here's our main character, Mike Greenwell. Mike Greenwell was a left fielder who, for his entire career, played for the Boston Red Sox. He first came up in 1985 as a potential replacement to Jim Rice, who was shifting to the designated hitter role. These were large shoes to fill. His first 2 seasons were short, 48 games in total. He had flashes of great hitting potential and was given a full-time position in the field in 1987. He did not disappoint. When Greenwell was at his best, he was a potent hitter and showed it in his first 4 full seasons, from 1987 to 1990. Over this stretch, he averaged 172 hits, 56 extra base hits, doubles plus triples plus home runs, a slash line of .313, .385, .488, and an adjusted OPS plus of 137. In case you don't know what OPS Plus is, it is a general value on baseballreference.com to determine how much better or worse a player is compared to the average player of that time, an average player having an OPS Plus of 100. You can then compare it from players from old times, like you can compare Babe Ruth, who played in the 20s and 30s, and you can compare it with someone who played today, like Shohei Ohtani or Fishman. Greenwell, for these 4 years, was 37% better than the average player. From that same stretch, there was only one other player that put up numbers at least as good as he did in as many games, compared by OPS, and that was fellow teammate Wade Boggs, who had only hit 187 hits in 1990 after having 7 straight seasons of 200 more hits. Greenwell hit 300 in 1991, but the following year he made the first of several trips to the then-named disabled list, which shortened his year to 49 games. In 1993, he put up a comparable year to his peak, but declined again in 1994. He would muster one more decent season in 1995, but injuries to his left hand, right foot, and a chronic sore back would limit his abilities in 96, in which he would only play in April, July, August, and September. Before we get started with the game in question, I'll be including a statistic called WPA, which stands for Win Probability Added. It's a way to determine how influential a play was at that particular point in the game toward the result of the game. A positive WPA is towards the win, a negative WPA is toward the loss. The larger the number, the more influential the play. A 1% WPA play is not too consequential. A 20% WPA play is fairly consequential. For our purposes, I'll be including it after every one of Mike's plate appearances. Let's fast forward. We are now at September 2nd, 1996. Mike doesn't know it yet, but this will be his last month of Major League Baseball. Boston was 3rd in their division, and would need a significant push to even consider making the playoffs that year. On the mound for Boston, their ace, Roger Clemens. Seattle presents Bob Wolcott? He's a rookie who had a very rough start to his career to that point, and he has yet to start a game and complete an outing without giving up at least 1 earned run. The lineups are as follows. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters of the Mariners are an incredibly terrifying lineup for any pitcher, even Roger Clemens. The first 2 innings go by without much fanfare. The farthest anyone making it is to second base, and that threat was removed when Joey Cora tried to steal third and was caught stealing. In the top of the 3rd, Mike is up first. He works a 2-1 count and then gets something to hit. He hits it out to deep right of center field and is caught. It is, in fact, an out. He's 0 for 1, and the WPA of that play was -3%. The Mariners get something started when 2 singles by Dave Hollins and Joey Cora, combined with a sacrifice fly from A-Rod, score the first run of the game. But Cora is caught stealing again, and Clemens is extricated without further damage. The Red Sox go quietly in order in the top of the 4th. Bob is looking good. Now there's some trouble. The Mariners get a single by Ken Griffey. He advances to second, Jay Buhner walks, and Paul Sorrento singles. It's now 2-0. Not an insurmountable difference by any means unless you're the Mets in 2021. Clemens is able to get Mark Whiten to ground the ball slowly to Clemens' right, but he throws it away, allowing Buhner to score and keeping the inning going. 3-0 now. Dan Wilson grounds one to Clemens' left, but Clemens throws it away again, scoring Sorrento and making it 4-0. Dave Hollins hits a sacrifice fly, and Whiten scores, making it 5-0. Joey Cora thankfully lines out to limit the damage. Top of the 5th. Reggie Jefferson strikes out looking, and Troy O'Leary flies out. Tim Naehring walks, which brings up Mike Greenwell. First pitch swinging, he hits a home run to right field, cutting Seattle's lead and making the score 5-2. The WPA of this play is 8%, so he has officially undone his flyout. The inning ends without further comment as Bill Hazelman flies out. Clemens finishes the bottom of the 5th, and Bob makes 2 outs in the 6th before being replaced by Seattle's first relief pitcher, Bobby Ayala. They want to keep the Bob thing going for now. And he gets Mo Vaughn to strike out. The bottom of the 6th comes and goes, with Mark Whiten being the only player to give Clemens any trouble. No runs, 1 hit, same score. Top of the 7th, and Ayala is back for another inning. Jefferson doubles, and back-to-back walks by O'Leary and Naehring set up a bases-loaded, no-one-out situation for Mike Greenwell. As you may remember, Greenwell has driven in the only 2 Boston runs so far, but is only 1 for 2 today. He takes a pitch for ball 1, then smashes the next pitch to right field for a grand slam. The WPA of this is 34%. It is a huge deal. 34%! Hooray! Boston is in the lead! The inning ends with a pitching change to Rusty Meacham, but no further runs. Boston is now up 6-5. In the bottom of the 7th, Clemens is been officially kicked out of the game and was replaced by Reggie Harris. Harris gets 1 out, gives up a single to Joey Cora, and a home run to Alex Rodriguez. The Mariners now lead 7-6. He then walks Ken Griffey and is swiftly removed for the second pitcher of the inning, Kerry Lacy, who then walks the next 2 batters to load the bases, all on 3-2 counts. Lacy is removed for the third pitcher of the inning, Vaughn Eshelman, who walks pinch hitter Brian Hunter. That adds another run. Thankfully, Eshelman gets Whiten to ground into a double play, but the Red Sox are in the red again, behind 8-6. The top of the 8th rolls around with Norm Charlton as the next pitcher for the Mariners. Mo Vaughn walks, and the next 2 batters strike out and ground out. Vaughn is now at second. Tim Naehring walks. Pinch runner Lee Tinsley is in for Naehring, runners on first and second. Up comes Mike Greenwell. He's 2 for 3 with 2 home runs and all 6 RBI. Now, with a small lead in the game, you might consider walking him since he's already had a monster day already at the plate. Behind him is Bill Hazelman, who has been out every time he's been up, and the one after him, Darren Bragg, is 2 for 3, but is in no way a power threat. Greenwell works a 2-0 count. The next pitch is flied to left, and it falls for a double. Both Mo Vaughn and Tinsley score. The game is tied at 8, and Greenwell has credit to all 8 RBI. This play had a WPA of 32%, which brings Greenwell's WPA total to 71. After that, Charlton is removed for Michael Jackson. No, not that one, the other one. That one. pinch hitter Mike Stanley flies out, and the inning ends with no further damage. The bottom of the 8th is scoreless, with Mark Brandenburg and Heathcliff Slocum combining to keep that inning clean for the Red Sox. The 9th inning for both teams goes by quickly, with Michael Jackson putting on the hee-hee on the Red Sox, keeping him in order, and Slocum eliminating the scoring threat for the Mariners with a double play. To extras we go, the normal extras without the extra runners and stuff. Top of the 10th. The pitcher for the Mariners is Rafael Carmona. There's a flyout by Mo Vaughn, a walk by Will Cordero, a lineout by Rudy Pemberton, and a walk by Jeff Manto. And up comes Mike Greenwell. 2 outs, runners on first and second. Now, judging by what has transpired today, what should the Mariners do? Should they, A, intentionally load the bases and face Mike Stanley, who flied out in his only at-bat, or B, should they roll the dice and try and get Mike Greenwell out, the only player on the Red Sox who has produced any sort of runs for the team all day? They roll the dice, and what do you think happens? Mike Greenwell gets a single down the left field line, scoring Cordero and putting the Red Sox up 9-8. This WPA is at 35%. It is the biggest play of the game, and Mike Greenwell has a WPA over 1. You would think that after the first 8 runs they give up to Mike Greenwell, the Mariners would just walk the guy as soon as he gets to the batter's box. He's like Gleyber Torres against the Orioles in 2019. I could only imagine Dave Niehaus getting more and more incredulous as the game goes on, similar to how Gary Thorne was in 2019. All Boston has to do is get 3 more outs. Slocum is still on the mound. Pinch hitter Ricky Jordan pops out. Dave Holland singles. Joey Cora singles. It's first and second with 1 out. Who is at the plate now? Oh, Alex Rodriguez. He's hit one of the 2 extra base hits for the Mariners in this game, plated the majority of the runs for his team in this game, and he's literally the worst person to face in this situation. He's great at making solid contact, and any solid contact he could make ends the game right there. First pitch is a swinging strike. Second pitch is a foul ball. It's 0-2. The third pitch is a ball. The fourth pitch, A-Rod makes contact. It's a ground ball to the pitcher, who starts a 1-4-3 double play to end the game. Boston has won this marathon 9-8 in 10 innings. Thanks for the vast majority of it to Mike Greenwell, who set a record for most RBI scored by one player as the only run support for the winning team. He had 3 of the Red Sox 4 extra base hits, and not once was he walked. The last time a player had 8 or more RBI as the only runs produced for a winning team, it was Bob Johnson in 1938. This is a very rare thing to happen. There are 594 individual games in the live ball era, so from 1920, in which a player has driven in 7 or more RBI for the winning team. There are only 15 games in which that player's production was the only run production in the game for the winning team. But there is only one Mike Greenwell.
One man alone. Stop saying that.
Thanks for watching.